WYCO, WYCO.
I wanna know what you chewing.
I do.
I wanna know what you chewing.
I do.
I wanna know what you chewing.
I do.
I wanna know what you chewing. I wanna know what he chewing. I wanna know what she chewing. I wanna know what they chewing. I wanna know what we chewing.
Greetings. It's the WYCO podcast. It's November 8th, man. It's my birthday, man. Make it smile. Cool. It's Jalen here, man. Right to the left of me, I got...
Hey guys, you got Remy Crispin. I do a whole lot of stacking and flipping.
How y'all doing, man? This Beaux, you know how we doing. I'm doing a little loving, you know, a little bit more loving and a little bit more loving. And right to the left of me, I got
Casimir, a.k.a. Cash. And yo, today we had two special guests. We have to my left,
yo.
Nicholas.
You gonna come speak?
Come introduce yourself, Nicholas.
Man, I got my roommate to my left of me. His name Nick Johnson, you know.
He's the GOAT.
A grad student.
And then we have...
Devontae Wynn. Everybody know me as Soup.
Super.
Super the Trooper.
Man, we got a great little session for you guys today, man. We're going to get into a little thing called iPhone X, okay? And then after that, we're going to go into the life after degree. And that's why we brought our special guest today. They got a lot of info on that. Then we're going to have a little facial hair segment, man. We definitely want to get in contact with these two for that because, look, we lacking over here. But after that, we have the Are You Ticklish with J. Remy, you know, his little special. And another main segment that we have for you guys today is What is a Terrorist? We want to get into talking about that in detail. We got a fun fact. We got our babushka today. All right, man, I know you guys know a little bit about the iPhone. I still got my iPhone 7. I got it on my birthday last year, but I didn't step up to the iPhone X. Kaz got a little bit to say about the iPhone X. I don't really, mind getting the new phone, but I don't think it's that big of a deal, you know?
Man, iPhones and new technology nowadays, it's a scam. They trying to get your money, and that's all it's really about. Give you a little bit of updates. That way it seems like they're doing something special, but it's really the same phone.
I honestly haven't even updated my phone yet. Remy's trying to, make me jealous when he screenshot videos, whatever he do, and put it on Snapchat. But I don't really mind that because, look, I still got my iPhone 7. I can still call whoever I want and text whoever I want. You know what I'm saying? And Remy feels like that's the biggest part of the iPhone, the new updates. But what'd you read? What'd you read, Cass?
So I just found something out because I feel like everybody notices this. Whenever you have that iPhone or the new iPhone comes out, your old phone stops working as well as, it was before. Crazy thing about it is that it's called built-in obsolescence. Every time that a new update comes in, it makes your old phone progressively worse. It's actually something that they found out in anti-piracy laws that they were able to fight against. That allows you to say that when the new updates come up, your old software is not able to process as well as the new one is.
So, I ain't really heard too much about that, but, that's crazy because it got to be something, because I'm not about to get a phone, and I know mine's still working, but I still have to get a phone because I know it might not work in the future. That don't even make sense.
Right, it's to make sure that you are willing to buy the new phone. I got the iPhone 5S right now. I'm way back when. But every time a new phone comes out,
I'm just scared of the green bubbles. I'm scared of the green bubbles. What you got, Soup?
So I've been noticing that for years, and I always said that, hey, man, my phone always start tripping when, it's a new phone, like you said, and you said they can get away with that because of what?
Anti-piracy laws.
Explain that further, because I thought that just mean, you can't copy them and you can't steal.
No, pretty much what goes into those laws is basically for their updates, all the rights that they have copyrighted for their programming allows, when you get that new update, you're forced to have to get that one. There's some updates that you can wait for a little bit, but after a while you will have to get the new update in order for your phone to still process and work. So once that new update comes along, it'll mess up your old software to where it does not work as well as it did before.
Because I said the same thing, Soup. I was like, man, I still got the same apps and everything. I don't need to update my phone. My app's still going to work. But Cass hit me with that. It's killer.
And it's even with the stock apps, the apps that you can't delete and you can't get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Those are probably the biggest problems because if you don't update them after a while, that's when your phone starts to freeze.
Mm-hmm. All right, so me, being a senior, it's tough because I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna do next, and it's coming fast, man. I'm almost done my first semester, but we got like a month left. Come on,
Just about.
come on, it's coming fast. So I'm trying to get myself ready for the future. That's part of the reason why I thought about bringing these two fine gentlemen in, because they are already taking those steps towards their future with that piece of paper. And I wanted to know, like, how are y'all gonna like proceed towards your future with your degree? And do you honestly think your degree was worth it? Do you honestly think it's gonna, pay off in the long run? Just anything and everything that you think, Cass, if you have anything, you can let us know. If not, Nick can step in.
My biggest thing is just I really want to know what steps you need to take before you graduate. So I feel like there's something like, an idea you should have. As soon as you get that paper, you should be ready to get in motion with something. So what do I need to do to prepare myself before I step out onto that stage for graduation?
I think the biggest thing that you really need to figure out is, actually no, the biggest thing you really need to do first off is take a deep breath and breathe and realize that everybody else is in the same position. Everybody else that graduated that day, 2018, May, whenever, is going in the same or feeling the same exact way. So as long as it's completely okay to not know what you're gonna do, as long as you figure out, like, as long as you just have kind of just general vague steps of something that you kind of want to do, that's all right.
So
Nobody knows.
How's it to where, I kind of want to look at it from this point of view. You're, are you going to begin your master's next, or are you already getting?
So I'm already in my master's.
You're already in your master's, and you're still playing ball. So how do you feel about, getting your master's while you just got your degree? And do you think it's the right step to take right after getting your degree?
Well, it really all depends on your personality, and it depends on the career that you want to take. Me rolling right into my master's, I knew if I didn't do it right now, I was never going to do it. I was going to get out of that whole school mindset and then just be like, screw it, I don't want to go back. Also, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily need a master's. But the position and what I wanted to do and the career I wanted to go in, the field I wanted to go to, I knew I needed that extra piece of paper to separate myself.
Both of y'all, I got a question.
Get all right, man.
Do y'all feel like what y'all
WYCO.
have learned in y'all's years of college is ever gonna be brought up in whatever you want to do with your life? Like, do you feel like,
That's a good one.
because like I've learned that, and I've heard that, from big people, like big time people, that like what you learn in college, like most people, like whatever they major in or whatever they're studying, they don't even go into that field in terms of like finding a job and stuff like that. So do you feel like what you're learning in college is really relevant, and do you feel like you're even gonna go into that specific area of work in which you're studying?
I feel like that's a personal situation. I was fortunate enough to get a job in my career field. And I also feel like I was fortunate enough to be a sports studies major. Yeah, I will in a second. Joe Mullins and Kelly Horton and Bob Epplin do a great job of making that program very practical. Everything that they do, every project-wise, every assignment, I've seen in my year and a half, 2 years in my role as a coordinator of operations at Reinhardt. And like Jalen asked me to explain my role, so pretty much I went here for 4 years, got my degree, a BS in sports administration, decided to pursue my master's degree, and I'll be graduating with that in May as well. And I'm currently a part-time employee for Reinhardt. So I was fortunate enough to get a position in my career field that I desired. And I also felt like it was part of my plan. A little bit different than most people. I always knew since I was like 12 that I wanted to do something in athletics. If I couldn't play pro ball, I wanted to do something with pro ball. Well, I didn't want to be an agent because I didn't want to go to law school. I didn't want to be a coach because I didn't want to put my 10, 12, 16, 18, 20 hours into a day and be away from my family when I get to that point. So I was blessed enough to get a job in the athletic administration in my field in a place that I love. and I had a plan. I took steps. I knew I had to do internships. I knew I had to do practicums. I knew I had to go network in different places. I knew I had to do work study and just familiarize myself with different things in the industry.
I have a question about the internship thing. I took an internship this past summer before my senior year, and I've been asking around. I've asked some coaches, some professors, and a lot of them are saying if you're not thinking about jumping straight into your master's, jumping into an internship right after college. Do you guys think that's a smart move, or do you think it's something that we shouldn't look at?
Yeah, definitely. What a lot of employers are going to be looking for is experience. So if you don't have the education or that second degree, if you have experience in that field, they're definitely going to look at you. They might even look at you more before they even look at that person that has that second degree. It's not really all the time about what you know. It's about who you know and what you've learned over time. So definitely get into internships and really figure out if you even really want to be in that field. A lot of people think that I thought for the 4 years that I was getting my undergrad, I thought I was wanting to be a sports psychologist. And I took a bunch of psych classes. I almost double majored in psychology. And I was like, this is what I want to do. I finally shadowed somebody and picked their brain and realized that it was going to take too long for me to get where I wanted to be. And that's not what I wanted to do. So I squashed that, threw that idea in the trash, and went and decided to get my MBA because business is universal. You're always going to need a business degree. Everybody's always going to have to understand business. So that's what worked out for me. It doesn't always work out for everyone. But definitely internships definitely help.
And Cass, you thinking about doing the internship. How you feel about that? What words of advice can you give to people?
I feel the biggest thing is being able to experience different things with your internships. When you really go out there and you look for different things that you probably wouldn't have pictured as a real field or position, because I realized a lot of when I originally assigned to my major, what I wanted to do was just be a commentator. And the first thing that popped in my head was being on ESPN. But it wasn't until I talked to my professors and I talked to other professionals in the field of communications that I realized there are so many more jobs and opportunities out there. So being able to make sure you diversify and you're not just, it's great to have a goal in mind, but be able to make sure that you're keeping your options open, because you'll never actually know until you see it that you might find something that you will be really passionate about. So just keep an open mind.
With me, man, I'm a whole mama's boy, you know what I'm saying? I ain't scared to admit that. So I'm not even trying to leave my mama. I'm the type to, I'm trying to, if I were to get my own crib, I'm trying to live right down the street. That's one thing I'm afraid of. But Nick, something you said that jumped out at me, I don't really know exactly what I want to do. I know what I'm interested in, but I don't know what I want to, do for the rest of my life. I don't know if I'm interested in something to that much of an extent to do it for the rest of my life. But something you said, take these vague steps into somewhere that you think you want to go, and I feel like that's an important thing for y'all to listen to. So yeah, and another thing, I know we're talking about, y'all getting close to, getting out of here, and Soup, you're already out of here. But for these people that don't know what they want to do, would y'all suggest some people tell them, take these courses that a broad major, so you have, you can narrow it down. Would y'all suggest that they do this, or y'all suggest that they pick one thing, and just keep going with that?
Honestly, because of what Nick said, and it's kind of what I'm doing, and I feel like if all else fails, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I feel like if all else fails, business is really the way to go, because like Nick said, business is very universal, and everybody needs to learn business, whether it be marketing, management, administration, et cetera, everything revolves around just those whole concepts, like finance, management, marketing, all those things. And with my marketing major, I want to go into sales, and that's what I really want to do going into my senior year with my internships. A sales internship is really what I prefer. Management might be okay, but I feel like for students out there, like Devin said, just pick something vague and pick something that you feel like you'll be interested in, and maybe that'll really change your mind, and maybe that'll really increase how you really feel on that certain situation.
But really, Devin was asking too, to get an explanation on that, because I think that's the best way to. I took that route, pick something vague and figure out what I want to do. I'm a mass comm major, and I wanted to be on ESPN like Cass is saying. I want to have my own radio station. I want to do a lot with it, but just so one of these guys can answer that question for us, do you think it would be better to pick something vague, or do you need to pick something specific and run with it?
I think that goes back to personal preference. If you have a plan, of course, stick to that plan and take the steps necessary on that plan. If you know that major requires these certain things, these certain courses, of course, take it. If you don't have a plan and you're taking those vague routes, I think that's where the importance of internships come in. How do you know you want to do something if you don't go do it? You can't assume you want to be a nurse if you don't go experience and go shadow that. You can't say you want to be an analyst until you want to go do that. So the best way to figure out what you want to do when you don't really know is to go try a bunch of stuff. And the best way to do that is different internships, volunteering, shadowing people, picking people's brain, really networking. That's your best option when you don't have a plan, and that's to get one.
And for younger students, you have time and you also have electives. So be sure, like, when you're using your electives wisely, you're not just, taking some foolish classes that you don't feel like that are really gonna apply to you. Be able to take like a class that is different from what is different from like the norm for you, but is out in the realm that you feel like you might be interested in, and at least be able to get a taste of something else that's different. Because when I originally came to the school, I did sports administration, then I switched to business, and then I finally found my home in communications and broadcast journalism, because I was able to take different classes that expanded my range and showed me different things that are out there.
And what I take from what Soup said, I understand that you can be afraid you're going to waste your time doing like something like an internship or taking all these other classes that you don't really think you're interested in. But what I take from that, man, is just do it, because you never know until you actually try it. You never know if you'll like it. You never know if you'll dislike it. But just go ahead and take that chance, because you never know how far you could go with it.
I think that's a great way to end that, man. Super Nick gave us some great things to polish up, because we definitely need to first think about it and then achieve it. So that's definitely great, and we appreciate you guys for sharing that with us. Man, going from life after your degree to this facial hair, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it real.
I need answers.
Look, right now, man, both of these fellas got full-blown Abraham Lincoln beards. So I'm trying to figure out how to get something on the side of my face. Remy's been trying to grow his beard since he got to RU. Kaz been having a little chin strap. And
they've been calling me patches for so long, bro. I'm tired of this.
Beaux, his won't connect to save his life. So we want to know. We want to know how you guys developed these beards. What did you use? What type of what's going on? What are y'all putting on y'all face?
Well, I mean, the way it was called, you gotta.
I gotta know.
You gotta condition your beard like you condition your hair. All right. So one
It's
day,
crazy.
literally, a woman in my store, she asked me, she said, "That's impressive," and I said, "I appreciate it." She goes, "I said it's a lot of work." She said, "Kind of like a black woman's natural hair. It's a lot of work." But like from a medical standpoint, all right, look, I'm about to give it to y'all. This is literally what all right, so the ability to grow a beard is dictated by the way in which a man's body reacts to testosterone.
Whoa.
In general, most males have around the same level of testosterone, but as the New York Times highlights, men who grow thick beards are more sensitive or responsive to testosterone than their baby-faced peers.
Hey, he pointed to
Why
Kaz
you
for
pointing
that
at me
one.
like that, bro?
Because you asked, so I'm about to tell you.
Get him.
Alright, we all
In
asked,
other
though.
words, the capacity to grow a beard has nothing to do with manliness, virility. I don't know. No,
You good.
fertility, or testosterone levels, and everything to do with genetics.
Genetics.
Get out of
Hey,
my face.
because honestly, I was going to ask Soup that too, because his cousin Franchise got the whole full-blown too. And I asked both of them, like, how y'all do that? Franchise, it's genetics, man. Soup talking about, yeah, man, our other cousin got it too, but he said he got it later. But how does that work, Soup? Like, so everybody in your family got the full-blown Abraham Lincoln. What's going on, man?
Not everybody, but majority of them do, especially my age. Like, it's genetics and stress, hard times, and not having a barber. I ain't gonna flex. Like, I had little peach fuzz when I was little, and I used to just shave it off all the time because I heard if you shave it off, it grow back thicker. So I used to just shave it and keep lining it up, and eventually it kept growing, started growing. And then, like Nick said, you have to, like, condition it. I, like, once or twice a week, I shampoo it, I condition it, I, like, comb it out, I pick it out and stuff, like.
Remy looking at this dude so crazy.
Like, I get some Jamaican black castor oil.
Yeah,
I pat it
yeah,
down,
yeah.
right? I
What you
grease
got
it
to
up,
say,
you know what I'm saying?
man?
Look,
Why
man.
you looking at him like that?
You gotta
Look,
take
man.
care of, like Nick said, natural black. woman
Look,
hair, like.
man, I was a freshman in college when I seen this man suit beard. I said, hey, man, what you want to do with this? How do I got to do this? Hey, man, just shampoo and condition. Just shampoo and condition.
When
I've been
you don't
doing
got
that.
no hair on the side.
I've been
shampoo it.
doing it. I've been shampooing my face.
Rubbing skin.
I've been shampooing my face, conditioning my face. I mean, like, granted, like, over time, you know what I'm saying, the little spaces is getting filled up with little pieces of hair. You know what I'm saying? But
Have you cut it off though?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
so,
like-
so we gotta keep cutting it, and it's gonna grow.
I done took a few L's with a baby.
I've cut my beard multiple times.
Yeah, me too. Look at Ray.
I've cut my beard multiple times too, but my beard just will not connect, bro.
And what's it called? But in some places, your beard is not gonna connect. I know I still have a patch.
So you telling me it'll never grow?
No, I didn't say it won't ever grow. I said it'll just take longer for it to grow.
All right. So
All right.
I got time, brother.
So y'all saying genetics. So what's up with all these like beard oils and all these other commercials that come out and say, oh, you buy this little ointment, you rub it on your skin.
Don't lie to us.
It's like, what about that?
What's
you saying
that?
that stuff don't work at all? Like, is that all snake oil? Like, what is it?
I can't vouch for that. I didn't have to use it, but like I know like the castor oil works on the like to keep it conditioned and oiled up and stuff.
Right.
You know.
want it to look like a Brillo pad on your face.
Yeah.
True enough.
we gonna really leave it at that, man. Let everyone ponder on that because
nah, man, cause like it's been times where people done told me to put oil on my face, and then I done went to sleep with a
Yeah.
full
Really said, I
face
gotta
of
get
oil.
down to
Hold on,
it.
hold on, hold on. How much
I gotta
oil
get
did you
down
put
to it.
on your face?
They told me to shave. I shaved, put oil on my face. I got a face full of oil on skin.
Shiny
You gotta
face.
put just a little bit of oil. You gotta put what's called maybe just a little dab, rub it around your face. You don't want to smother the hair follicles, but you do want to keep them conditioned.
All right. Question. At the stage that I'm at right now, Nick, like I want you to look closely at my chin. I want you to look at my chin right now.
All right.
Do you think I should take that L again and shave again?
Yeah, I mean, what's called you're in that,
Remy
you're in that
just
process
shaved.
right now
Baby
where
booty.
you could shave that off and it'd be
Baby
completely
booty
okay.
face.
Nobody would probably bat an eye. Me, on the other hand, I've had this for forever. So if I was to shave this off, y'all would look at me like, who is that?
Dang, man.
I didn't heard you shouldn't put anything on your skin or in your hair that you wouldn't eat. Y'all know anything about that? No.
Again, I'm not gonna eat oil, so I can't
But
really
like
necessarily vouch for
coconut
that.
oil, you could.
You could, yeah. I put coconut
Yeah.
oil on my face. I put shea butter on my face. I do that a lot. There's another one that I kind of use all the time. I think I got it at Sally's. Sally's gonna be
Shout
your
out
best.
Sally's.
Sally's gonna be your best friend, if you really was called, because they have a nice little line.
He said Sally's gonna be your best friend.
But really,
Man, I don't know what I'm about.
really
to
a
do.
lot of times, really, if you really look at your parents, look at your dad, look at your granddad.
My dad got patches.
My dad got a beard. All right, my dad got a beard. My grandfather got a beard. I need answers. All right, this don't make sense.
Okay, but how long did it take for him
and
to get
Javi
that
don't
beard,
got
though?
nothing either.
He don't know.
Javi's bald.
My cousin, the naked mole rat, bro. It's weird.
Real talk. His cousin older than him, and he a naked mo rat. So what's going on?
Yeah, Ray got a lot of facial hair, though. don't he?
Hey, we
Yo.
good. We good.
Casimir, you're gonna be the only one with a chin strap in your family.
We good.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just one of those guys where, you know, I could be sitting down in class and you mess around, you brush past me, I might just, ooh, that tickles. You know, I'm just really extra ticklish. So I just want to ask y'all is, are y'all ticklish? And if you are ticklish, I want to know how much are you ticklish,
Wow.
and where are you ticklish at?
This cat.
And I want to know if it's okay for people to just tickle you.
Comment,
you.
post, all that good stuff.
Only you
He wants to
answer that
know
question, dog.
where and I don't even know how to.
Where and why are
where
you ticklish?
Where you ticklish at, bro?
Yeah, where are you? ticklish?
Pause.
I'm ticklish on my knees, my legs, my calves, my shoulders, my neck, like the front of my neck towards my jugular,
Your body.
my armpits, my ribs. My ribs, don't even touch my ribs, man. It's over with if you touch my
Remy,
ribs.
so one question: you like to be tickled?
Yes.
Is that like a? Is that like a fetish?
No, it's something that I appreciate. I appreciate people tickling me, but I don't want y'all to look at me different because I like to be tickled. I just like being tickled. Soup, are you ticklish?
No, not at all. Actually, it don't matter where you touch me at, which you better not touch me. I prefer if you don't touch me, but I'm not.
I'm right
ticklish
there.
at
I'm
all.
right there with you. Don't
Right.
touch me. The only place I'm probably ticklish is on the bottom of my feet,
Yeah.
and I don't like feet. So
Yeah, so don't touch me, bro.
Are you ticklish on the bottom of your feet?
Yes, bro.
Dang, so you a big kid, really?
Yes,
Why do you like being tickled?
because I feel like tickling is fun. Tickling is fun.
Tickling also sounds like
I
a little
don't
borderline
care.
sexual harassment.
I don't care. I don't want no grown man trying to come over and tickle me. That's no.
Remy,
Okay.
Have you tickled someone at RU before?
Yes,
What?
Just for fun?
yes.
Why?
All right, pick this. So, if three of us held you down and started tickling you right now, what would you do?
That's rape.
What'd you say?
That's rape,
If
bro.
we started tickling you right now, would
That
you
is
laugh?
Sexual assault.
I wouldn't laugh. I would probably run, bro. I'm not about to get tickled
You
by
would
another
laugh.
grown man.
You would laugh.
Without a beard.
Y'all would laugh.
So wait, you said you got a big
No, hold on.
Gotcha.
I'm not getting tickled by no.
Have a good night.
I'm not getting tickled by no grown man. We'll leave it at that. Remy, I did that for the show. So going from the "Are you ticklish" to some serious, man. Kind of want to get some things off our chest. What is a terrorist? We're gonna have a moment of silence for that because a lot of people don't understand that in this country and in this world. You know, what is a terrorist? So when it comes to my point of view, I just believe that terrorism is worldwide. You know, first of all. And in this country, we look at terrorism as something that, you know, it happens in this country. But if a certain person does this, they might not be considered a terrorist. But it goes back to what I just said from the beginning. What is terrorism? You know, we got a lot of mass shootings going on in our country. We have a lot of destruction going on in our country. We kind of want to get an understanding and a clear view. You know, me and Kaz were talking about it the other day. Just terrorism is something that's not good for our country. But first of all, we have to have an understanding before we can have anything to argue about. So Kaz, you know, what do you think about terrorism? What is a terrorist, man?
All right. The basic definition of a terrorist is a person who incites terror. When you look at a lot of mass shootings that have taken place in the United States, and you see the news stories, the titles that go along with each story, you can find out what person they're describing based off the words they use. Like if you hear, when it comes to most, when it comes to people who are members of the Nation of Islam or whatever, or who have a different background than what is typically seen in America, that's when they're able to say this person is a terrorist. However, recently when you look at shootings like the Las Vegas shooting or the one that happened in the Texas church, it's always a solo gunman, a lone wolf, a person who, you know, was just cut off from society, but they try to humanize them in an aspect that they don't do for other people. And it's something that needs to be addressed because we can't exactly deal with terrorism in its entirety if we try to, you know, cut it off for what it is. If we continue to say, okay, well, you know, when it's a person who's Islamic, that's a terrorist. Mm-hmm. If it's a person that's African American, it's a thug. Mm-hmm. But if it's a Caucasian American, it's just a solo gunman acting alone on his
pointing out the facts
on his own actions. And that's something that can't continue because regardless, it's something that incites terror. Those people who were running the Las Vegas shooting, they were terrified. That person was a terrorist, a domestic terrorist at that.
Yeah, and that's really why we brought these two gentlemen in, because they're older gentlemen and they have a lot of wisdom on their hands compared to us. You know, we consider some young bucks. But I know Nick, we've talked in deep discussion about a lot of things. I know this is a guy that, you know, looks into the media, you know, knows what's going on around him for the most part. You know, how do you feel about terrorism, and how do you feel like we should, you know, go about it when we discuss it, you know?
I think that everybody should take their own opinions and leave them at the door, and definitely, especially, just explain and really stay close to the facts. I think a lot of people have given terrorism or what a terrorist is, like their view of a terrorist, by what happened 9/11. Don't get me wrong, that was a very traumatic event.
True, that's true.
But everybody assumes that a terrorist has to be from a different country, has to be representing a different religion, and has to be just set out to set violence on somebody else, which is not the case. There can definitely be homegrown terrorists, which there have been in these past, the Vegas shooting, the San Antonio shooting, the Charleston shooting. All of these terrorists were homegrown. None of them were, you know, pledging their allegiance to Allah, or in other words, that's really just God. They were probably Christian Americans, Christian Caucasian Americans that didn't like what was going on or had their own opinions or views of something, and that's how they acted out. I don't think the media should depict them as, they probably are very much mentally unstable. They probably may have had a psychotic break, but at the end of the day, they are, in latent terms, they are terrorists.
Word.
And I think that's what people should understand, is like, you should leave your opinion at the door and really understand that these are terrorists. They should be treated like terrorists. They should not be given a pass because they're mentally ill, or a black person should not be labeled a thug because he does the same exact thing. No, he's a terrorist. He's a terrorist too, just like a white person is, just like a different race, a person of a different race is a terrorist. They're terrorists. Terrorism. Unlawful. A terrorist is a person who uses unlawful violence and intimidation, especially against civilians. The Vegas shooting, people go to Vegas to have fun, get away from their daily stressors, and the only thing that they were worried about is whether or not they were going to go home and see their kids or return to their jobs.
Couldn't have said it better than that, man.
What was crazy, I was looking at the Washington Post, and the title that they put when they talked about the Vegas shooting, and they talked about the gunman who was a terrorist. This was the title: Las Vegas gunman Stephen Paddock liked to gamble, listen to country music, lived quiet, retired life before massacre. That is the title of the article. When it comes to a Muslim who is involved in an incident similar to this, not even to the same degree, you won't hear them talk about their family lives. You don't hear them talk about their kids or how they were mentally ill or deranged. They're just labeled as terrorists, and they're spoken for as that. And people are ready to go up in arms, especially politicians, and talk about how we need to do something to incite change. However, when it's flipped and we're looking at domestic terrorists, and we're talking about gun restraints or gun policies, it's saying, oh, we need time to grieve before we're willing to talk about politics. Let's not get too political about this. But if it's someone of a different creed or religion, that's the first thing that we're ready to talk about.
That's big. That's very big because of the fact that a lot of people don't really take that into consideration. You know, you got to open up your vernacular, sit down, think about what's going on around you. You know, open up your mind when it comes to this. We all need to have an understanding when it comes to terrorism, because it might happen in your city tomorrow. You never know. You know, think about it. Think about your families. Understand what's going on and take it into consideration. Because, you know, it's something that we need to look into and be more, you know, open, because this society needs it. You know, everyone needs it.
We don't need to live a life of fear. We don't need to live in fear. And the biggest thing about that is being able to follow the necessary steps to bring about a change that we need. In order to do that, you have to be able to tell your representatives that you want to see change, that you want to see restrictions put in place to where people are not allowed to have the certain equipment that allows for these mass shootings to take place. If that's the change that you want to see, if that's
no more shootings, man.
If that's something you want to see happen, you have to speak to your representatives. Go out in the community, because this is your community. This is your country, your state, whatever. If you want to feel safe in it, you have to do the necessary steps to make sure that you're safe.
No more shootings 2017. You're wild. And, man, you know how we like to wrap up things, man. It might hit you any time of the podcast. You never know. But Remy got his babushka today, man. And his babushka. And by the way he looking, you know, it may surprise you. I don't know, man. We don't know either, guys. You know, Nick, our special guest, Soup, they don't know either. So y'all be ready for whatever he got to say.
All I got to say is, for Jeremy, whatever he says, don't judge him.
Don't judge him. Go ahead, bro.
All right, so from the age of 5 to 8, I was living with my grandma and my cousins. Me and my little brother was living with my grandma at the time, you know. Just going through a little temporary struggle in our lives. And I think I was about 5 or 6. My brother was 1.
Okay, giving us some real today.
And we sitting in the kitchen, me and my cousins and my little brother eating dinner. My grandma had fried some fish, you know, some rice and some stew, you know, typical little African little dinner. You feel me? And I got through eating the food fast. You know, if you ever know what I look like, I'm a big person, and I like to scarf down my food. I like to inhale my food because it's just good, especially when grandma cook. You know, it's just good. So
was it jollof rice? Hold on, I'm sorry. Was it jollof rice?
Yes, jollof rice and fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I was saying, like the best part of the meal was the fish. You know, I love my fish. I love fried fish, all of that. So I'm just chewing on it. I'm hungry. Grandma, I want some more. No, wait till everybody finish. You gotta wait. You're being selfish. Everybody ain't, like, nobody even ate yet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the only one with an empty plate and everybody just eating their food. So I'm sitting there mad. So I look, and by my brother's little high chair that he was eating at,
Hold on. Remember, y'all gotta close your eyes when y'all listen to Remy's story. So do that for me.
So
y'all know how the babushka works.
So I look on the floor at my brother's high chair where he was eating, and I see fish on the floor.
I know you did not.
So
better that way. Close your eyes.
So I go over there. My grandma not looking. I pick it up, and before I put it in my mouth, my grandma said, "Don't eat that. Eat them boo-boo on the floor." That was doo-doo that I picked up.
What?
And I almost ate.
Wait, who was eating?
My little brother.
He doodled on the floor?
He doodled on the floor.
Wait, Tom.
How old was he?
He was 1.
Hold on, you thought it was fish?
You thought it was...
Yes.
Wait.
It looked just like the fish.
It looked just like...
And I was tripping.
What type of African fish? Okay. So it looked like poop, and you were about to go eat it.
I was about to eat it to my grandma.
Did you touch it?
Yeah, I picked it up with my whole hand.
How close? Was it to your mouth on the real?
It was up there.
Oh man! Did it stink?
No, that's the thing, bro. It did not smell. I just put it up to my mouth, and right before I was about to chew on it, my grandma said, "No, that's poop. Your brother boo-booed on the floor."
I don't want to know what you're chewing with that one, bro.
I don't want to know what you're chewing.
Do something else.
I don't want to know what you're chewing. Look.
Not smell. Like, I didn't smell anything.
So you was really about to crunch on that thing.
Yes.
You was about to make that sound you make.
I was so hungry to the point I didn't care. I just saw a fish on the floor and I was about to eat it, and my grandma said it was poop.
Remy.
Okay, but y'all just can't look at me like I'm not the normal. Like I'm not. You know what I'm saying? My brother boo-booed on the floor. Who does that? In the kitchen.
1 year old.
They boo-boo on the floor in the kitchen.
He didn't have a diaper on or nothing?
I mean, my brother was pretty reckless. He boo-booed in the bathtub, all of that.
But most kids do that, though.
In the kitchen?
No, in the bathtub, definitely what's called. But
that's
children
crazy.
Children have, very limited control of their bowel movements. Especially a 1-year-old.
Limited control.
I just want to say,
And you got limited control of your dang
Man,
body.
no. Bottom line, it's not on the 1-year-old.
Yeah, whoa,
Bro,
you trying to switch
picked
it?
up poop.
See, this how Remy do, man.
And you felt it in your hand. First of all, you looked at it. You saying it looked like fish. You picked it up. It didn't smell like poop. And you was about to eat it. And it didn't feel like, I know it don't
Was
feel
it
like no
mushy?
fried fish.
it was
Was it
solid.
hard? It was.
Yeah, it was solid like fish. And I want to say thank you to
Fish?
my late great grandmother, Miss Dorinda Quarshie,
Nah, he's shouting.
for
This dude is crazy.
for helping me and looking out for me. And I know you're up in heaven laughing right now, but like that's just something that I just had to get out and tell y'all. I almost ate boo boo, and if it wasn't for my grandma, I would have been known as a boo boo eater for the rest of my life. Amen.
Good night. That's your babushka today, guys.
Have a good night.
You can open your eyes now and come back to earth. You went into Remy land just then.
told y'all that.
You're wild, bro.
Man, we appreciate you guys coming in, listening, enjoying the show with us. We enjoyed it with each other. And I want to thank my special guest, man, our special guest, Nick and Soup. They came and brought some juice, man, some facial hair, of course, and, everything we needed for the show. I want you guys to comment, share, do everything you need to do. Beaux, you got anything you want to say to the audience?
Yes, sir. Y'all know all I gotta say, man, is keep loving, man. The only way to do it, the agape way. So I appreciate y'all doing what y'all doing, man. Keep listening and keep giving us feedback. We appreciate it.
Well, appreciate you for tuning in. Go ahead in that comment section. Let us know what you chewing on so we can tell y'all what we chewing on and we can have a nice little discussion and get down to the bottom of this. If you have anything you want to hear on the next podcast, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be sure that your next topic might be something that we chewing on next.
I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in. We had fun today. I shared a deep dark secret with y'all. I hope y'all don't. Well, I mean, obviously y'all gonna share it because it's fine. But anyways, like I was saying, thank y'all for tuning in. I love y'all.
All right, let our special guests give their brief, whatever you want to say. You say it's the outro.
Hey, yeah, man, this your boy Super, man. I'm checking out, man. I appreciate WYCO having me come through tonight, man. Like we discussed earlier, man, I really thought this was going to be a circus, man, but y'all got a good thing going, man. I appreciate y'all finding a positive medium to express y'all opinions and y'all concerns. This can go a long way, man. I'm proud of y'all. Before I go, I want to just, remind y'all to be positive, be productive, and be great, man. 2 Thessalonians 3:10 say, if a man don't work, he don't eat. So do work, man. And I'm out of here.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
God. Damn, that's hard to come out.
Ooh.
Come on, man. You really gonna leave me like that? That's just messed up. Okay, all right. Nah, look, I really appreciate, them bringing me on the show and everything on WYCO. Shout out to WYCO. But this is a really good outlet. When I was talking about vague ideas or vague steps, this is definitely one of them for y'all. Like you said, you in mass communication, this is definitely a step. If you can, on your resume, you said that I constructed a podcast and it was successful. So yeah, definitely keep this up. Y'all do this thing. That's for you, baby. That's for you.
He did a smack. Hey, appreciate you guys.
WYCO,
I want to know what you chewing.